You're listening to the episode of Mr. Allie's Neighborhood. This is a place where we're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
All right, it's time for another great show in the neighborhood. Today, we're going to talk about a coat drive run by Dr. Chase Dyess. Tell us about where you're at and your clinic and where it's at.
Thanks, Brad. My name's Dr. Dyess, and I have been here for over a decade in Burleson. We are located on Alsbury Boulevard, next to Papa Murphy's Pizza and Allstate Agency, Clinton Musselman.
You're throwing out shout-outs to them, are you?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
We've been there for over 10 years now.
This is Trinity Chiropractic, by the way, if I didn't get the name out.
Yeah.
Trinity Chiropractic of Burleson.
It's probably pretty important.
Yeah, it is. It was a miss on that. But you've been here for a little while.
Yep, a little while. And we've always been pretty involved in the community. I won't sit here and lie to you. Over the last couple of years with COVID and everything, it's kind of been hard to have our feet on the ground.
Oh,
and
sure.
not as many events, but now since everything's opening back up and we're getting more involved, and we decided to do a coat drive.
Right. Well, you're not the only one who's had that COVID problem. People who've heard this show before have heard some of the nonprofits come on their show, and they still are suffering from the effects of COVID. It has affected long-term financial planning. It has affected donations and things of that nature, and financial donations in particular. So you're not the only one. It's COVID. We're going to tell our children about it, except I'm much older than you, maybe my grandchildren. It's going to be pre-COVID and post-COVID kind of conversations.
For sure.
Because we started this pre-COVID, and then we got hit right in the middle of it. And then after we did try to keep it going through Zoom, we were back here in this new studio, and it's just been one piece of cake ever since. But anyway,
I'll tell you what, though, during COVID, we did a lot of social media. A lot of advertising, and people really wanted to start taking care of themselves better.
Yeah.
So we got a whole lot busier during COVID. It was just no one was doing events anymore, not by my choice. But so we've decided to do a coat drive, and we're going to donate the coats to Beautiful Feet Ministries. That's going to be in Fort Worth.
Well, let me get some bills paid, so to speak, with the sponsors.
Okay.
and then we'll put the sign up there, the logo. But the good thing about these sponsors is they do a lot of things like this,
Awesome.
themselves. They're personally. I mean, not just sometimes. They help the groups that come on the show, but they also do a lot of stuff on their own. For example, CrossFit Burleson, Daniel Baisden over at 317 Southwest Wilshire. You're probably familiar with CrossFit. I mean, some of your patients, may use you and them at the same time, but
Yes, sir.
He's like, for example, he doesn't like this advertised, but I'm going to do it anyway. He is on a board of directors for a missionary orphanage in Guatemala, Eagle's Nest, which, by the way, is always in need of sponsors for their children. And so, that's an example of what we're talking about. And then you have Shandy Stogsdill, the Stogsdill Group Realty. She's going to be on the show on the 16th. We're going to be talking about more than just real estate this time, so you want to tune in for that. But the Stogsdill Group, Shandy is the president of the board of Re-Inspire, which we were talking about prior to the show, helps with the foster children that are aging out of the system and trying to get some training and life skills and whatever else. So Shandy also has been here a long, long time, and she's been involved in all these things as a high school student through date. She's a old Burleson hand, not old, sorry, dear, but a veteran Burleson hand. But the Stogsdill Group is who you talk to if you need to move in and around the Burleson area. Also, I was here this morning at the Our Place restaurant. I do a lot of business at Our Place. I'm sure you've been there before.
I actually just got done adjusting one of their waitresses.
Okay, well,
Yep.
I don't doubt they would have back issues because they carry those big old heavy trays and everything. I couldn't do it. But I was there this morning with the Sunday school crew of men, and what I like about Our Place besides the food is that these waitresses and other staff members are veterans. That you go there and you get to actually know their names, as opposed to having this massive turnover, which tells me a lot about Otto as much as anything else. I don't know if you ever met him, but he's quite the character.
Oh yeah, love Otto.
Okay. Our Place Restaurant, you know where it is on the highway in Osbury. Also, and I don't know about this place, but this is also a popular place, Wild Cigar and Culture over on Hidden Creek at the Standard. You know, you go there, have a drink, have a smoke. It's a nice place to do business. It's all. Chris will be on the show Monday. We're going to be talking about business for the new year. He just celebrated his first year anniversary right before Christmas. And so we're going to talk about all he's learned in that year, things of that nature. Even if you're not a cigar smoker yourself, get a gift card because somebody in your life probably is. I gave away gift cards.
Oh yeah, I've been there. It's super nice. I enjoy it.
You like a cigar every now and then?
Every now and again.
Yeah, and he's got the inventory to choose from, doesn't he?
Sure does.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah.
And then also local life. Tiffany Nico, you're shaking your head like you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know Local Life. They're
Okay.
a great magazine.
Right, okay.
We've actually won Best of the Best last year for chiropractors in Burleson. So
Yeah, you go.
I appreciate that.
She's very, very busy, but the magazine should be out this week. It's usually the first week of the month. It goes to 30,000 homes, and it goes to a lot of people. So you're probably going to recognize a lot of your neighbors and your friends in this issue. So I'm trying to get all the hookup here now. This part of it is always fun, and for the show is trying to, all right, all the sharing to have to do on Facebook, and it's like, we'll let you know if we take yours or not. Also, thank you to Southern Jim. Are you married, sir?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay, then you need to take your wife up there, doggone it.
Oh, we've been there as well.
Okay.
We've had some work on some jewelry and
Mm-hmm.
different things up there. They do a great job.
My wife works there now. She just retired from the school system also about 3 months now, and she works there a couple of days a week.
Yeah.
And it's a very expensive habit for me, I'm telling you right now. No, I got her a necklace from Gayla, and because my wife had her eyes on it, so Gayla kind of helped me maneuver a way I could buy it without my wife knowing about it, so it was really nice.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
yeah, but it's a great place. They're going to be opening up when I say new location, they're just moving from the third floor to the first floor, and they're hoping to do that by the end of February, if God willing and the contractor's willing. So, but anyway, check it out. Also, Michelle Humphrey, Hot Works on 731. She'll be on in about 3 weeks. We're going to talk about her workout. Are you familiar with the infrared workout system that she has?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. I've just never got a chance, but I think it is awesome.
Michelle is very knowledgeable about this. Y'all probably have a lot to talk about, you know. But, it has 11 different workout programs. It's all done through the infrared system.
Mm-hmm.
And it maximizes the workout with less strain, less I don't say intensity, but it doesn't have the same kind of intense effect on your joints and tendons and whatever else. Because it's a lot of people do it. Taylor does it, and he swears by it. So
That's awesome.
yeah. And so Hot Works on 731 over by Kroger Theater, Chicken Salad Chick, and all that stuff. Also, Texas Farm Bureau, Melissa Harmon, my agent. Hopefully, could be your agent. 682-804-0534. So she could check out your insurance and see if she could save you some money. And if she can't, she'll tell you. And if she can, she'll tell you. And she saved me some money and upgraded some of my insurance policies. So it's worth if nothing else, you're going to get a free audit of your insurance. So give her a call and see what she can do for you. 682-804-0534. Okay. There is the Coat Drive logo for those who are watching on YouTube and Facebook or see it now or later. So you were telling us this was part of Beautiful Feet Ministries. They're out of Fort Worth, are they not?
Yes, sir.
And they're like near the missions down there at the homeless areas.
Yes, sir. By Rosedale.
Rosedale. I thought I'd seen this before when I just kind of was looking at your logo. I said, "Why is that name familiar?" And I've seen their building. That's why it's familiar. Are you part of their team, or are you just hooked up with them for this event?
What I like to do whenever we do something like this, coat drive, food drive, anything like that, we like to switch it up and always find a new charity to donate to. So they're new to us, but we have been told they help tons of people in need of coats, especially the homeless.
Well, I checked their website out, and they have a fairly extensive ministry.
Yeah.
Food and clothing and shelter and counseling, and it's sounds like a multi-purpose outfit other than just a pantry or something like that.
Sure.
So how did you connect with them? Just you saw what they were doing and want to be a part?
Saw what they were doing. And I heard through a friend about what they were doing, and I decided that it was a good opportunity to give to an organization that's doing a lot of great things.
Do you choose an organization every year, or you think you'll stick with Beautiful Feet for?
I choose a different organization every year. We've given to the Harvest House. We were doing a lot of canned food drives, especially in the month of November. We were doing a lot of canned food drives, and so we've done that with the Harvest House. We've also done some stuff with Next Step Women. We've done a lot of diapers and wipes and things like that. Just people that are in need.
Yeah, well, they're both regular contributors to the show. Jennifer Woods will be on. I forget the date exactly. I believe the 23rd. I'm not quite sure. And I know Megan Swearingen and Summer Garcia are going to be here on the 31st. And we do a lot of stuff with them as well. Because one of the values of doing this show is I've been exposed to these kind of things like you're doing yourself.
Sure.
And it's just amazing to me how many people in Burleson have given of themselves and their time and their efforts. I have become friends with a lot of these people, like Sherry Scott and her husband have what they call blessing boxes, where they have boxes all over this area where people could just put food in there, and if people need it, they can just go get them 2 or 3 cans of food for the day or something like that. It's not like Harvest House where they have like a client relationship. It's just random people who may be short of food that day.
Sure.
And it's really, really interesting and touching to see how many people really work for the benefit of others. So this coat drive, did Beautiful Feet rather tell you that that's what they were really needing were coats?
It's just something we felt like this time of year, especially until around March, people are going to be needing coats. And another thing I want to say about the coat drive is it's probably one of the best promotions I've ever done. And the reason for that is not only does it include your exam and your x-rays, but you also get your first adjustment. So we're kind of donating our services to people that donate coats to Beautiful Feet. So if you're having any issues and you haven't been adjusted and you don't know what chiropractic's about, this is a huge opportunity to get an adjustment. And I've actually never done that before over the last 10 years. So something new I wanted to try, something new I wanted to give back.
Well, it's definitely an incentive because I was telling you when we were talking on the phone, my wife's going to be one of your clients. She's going to bring a coat, and because she's got neck pain or something like that.
Sure.
And so she'll probably be dropping by your place within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I already thought, man, that's a pretty good deal. I mean, because everybody's unloading coats.
Yeah.
Particularly as their kids grow up and get older.
And with your wife working at the jewelry store, she's going to be constantly looking down a whole lot. She's going to be working with things and people that look down or read a lot or in a computer a lot, that can really affect their posture long term.
Well, that's interesting because her previous job, she was on the computer a whole lot.
Yep.
And she'd come home and she'd just be so sore. Her back would be, and sometimes you don't know if it's muscles or don't know if it's joints or bones, but chiropractic services can help actually with both, I would imagine.
Sure. So what controls the muscle is the real question. And the answer to that is the nerve. Your brain controls everything in your body, and it does it through your spinal cord and your nerves. So what happens in that situation, your wife's looking at a computer all day. Her spine and posture is out of whack. Those nerves get irritated and they tighten up those muscles. And those muscles get tightened to protect the spine from shifting any further out of place. Yeah.
And there's many, many days, particularly the last couple of years, where she was in pretty bad shape,
Yeah.
Now, like you mentioned about the jewelry store, about her looking down a lot of her, it's her neck that's sore. And so, I don't try any amateur cures other than, put some salve on it. And
Sure.
Or we have a TENS unit, I guess you're familiar with.
Yeah, so you don't walk on your wife's back?
No. I think that wouldn't do any good. I might crack a rib or something to try that. But she could really use it, and particularly since we're on the other side of 50, shall we say?
Yeah.
It gets more intense. But really, majority of your clients that come to you, your patients, is it the back that's the number one problem?
Pain is always the ticket to the show. Not always, but most of the time. We have a plethora of people that come with neck pain, headaches, lower back pain, sciatica, mid back pain, a lot of referring symptoms too, shoulder, arms, elbows, wrists, knees, ankles.
So it isn't just like back treatment, which is a lot of people think what chiropractic is back, spinal related. But let's say I had a really problem with the wrist. You could help me with that.
Carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the time, those issues are coming from the nerves in your neck and they're not able to get down into your hand. Or you could have a bone that's out of place in your wrist and we're able to adjust wrist, elbows, knees, feet. And some of the benefits of chiropractic that people don't even know are organic issues. We were talking about it before the show. When you put a bone back in place and it takes a pressure off of a nerve that goes to the esophagus, then that nerve can get to the esophagus and shut off the valve and prevent acid from splashing up into your esophagus and decrease some of the indigestion that I think you said you were having.
I was having it about an hour ago. Maybe just having you here solves some of that problem. It's not so bad now, but 9:45, it's like, my gosh, this came out of nowhere. And I was really, for about 30, 40 minutes, I was thinking, you have to go run by the store or something like that. But so you could have helped me with my indigestion. See, that's a lot of people. I
don't want to say specifically help you with your indigestion right off the bat. But as a chiropractor, we can put bones back in alignment, taking pressure off nerves, and increase the flow from the brain to the body. And your body is meant to heal and function. So if there's no interference, then it should have the best opportunity to heal from those things. The body needs no help. It just needs no interference.
Are you reluctant to prescribe or discuss, medications?
I'm not reluctant to talk about medications, but as a chiropractor, I have a licensed DC, Doctor of Chiropractic.
Right.
I'm not allowed to prescribe medications.
Right.
Nor would I, because in most situations, not all, there's a time and place for medicine. A lot of the times we're taking medicines to cover up the symptoms as opposed to adjusting the cause.
Right.
Did you catch that? Adjust the cause.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're talking about, you would say, okay, maybe to a patient who has some sort of real problem other than just their alignment, go see a physician.
Oh, for sure.
You're right. They could prescribe, but you're saying most of your patients probably don't need prescription medication.
Once we've given the body time to heal and function, not only do they not need the medication they were thinking they need, but we have tons of people get off medication on their own accord. Especially over-the-counter NSAIDs, ibuprofen. But we've also have people that bodies regulate and function to the point where they can stop taking their blood pressure medication. Or they stop taking Nexium, acid reflux, indigestion medication. Or, their digestive system starts to work a whole lot better.
How long does it take to obtain a doctor of chiropractic?
It's 8 years.
8 years, okay.
So 4 in undergrad and 4 after.
Where's your undergrad from?
My undergrad is from Northwestern State University.
Oh, is it like the Blue Demons or something like that?
Yeah. And that's in Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one time I called it Natchitoches, and I was severely corrected by somebody in one of my classes. It's Natchitoches, all right? But Northwestern State, and then you got your chiropractic over at Parker, right?
Yes, sir. Parker.
In the Dallas area, which has been around. I know. We talked about before the show. In my previous career, I visited them once for a business purpose, and that was in mid '80s. So they've been around a while.
Oh yeah, my father-in-law graduated from Parker in 1989.
Yeah, the visit I'm talking about, I had in 1985, I believe.
Yeah, his father graduated from Parker.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So Wait, so your father-in-law and his father are chiropractors, and so are you. Is that, attracted you to your wife, I suppose? Oh,
I met my wife in chiropractic school. Yeah.
Is she a chiropractor also?
She decided not to become a chiropractor because we were having so many damn kids.
Oh, man. How many do you have?
I have 4 boys.
4 boys. Your poor wife, a house full of men.
Yeah.
Basic 4 boys.
Yeah, she's a tough lady.
She must be.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Are they here in the Burleson schools or?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They are. My 3 youngers go to Bransom, and my oldest goes to Kerr.
The new Kerr is
The new Kerr.
I live within a stone's throw of there.
Yeah.
Well, see, as most people that listen to the show know, I taught at Burleson High School. Well, my first 2 years were at Hughes, and then in '90 I went to the high school and stayed there until 16, and then I made my break. I went over the wall. Of course, I also had some administrators help flinging me over the wall, but that's another story. But the point is that first of all, that new school looks pretty nice, and Bransom is one of the best elementaries. I really like. I'm sure the staff has changed quite a bit, but I remember I knew several of them when I was working there and working in the system, and I just thought that was one of the best schools around.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I'm friends with Mr. Ballantyne, the principal there. He's an awesome guy.
So, well, you probably could use some adjustment, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
All the stress of being
with my kids there for sure.
I'm sure they're angels.
Yeah, right. They're boys. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I know, but in every way, right?
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Well, I guess it would be a better idea to have somebody keep ramrodding those 4 boys as opposed. Gosh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to you. And okay. So, how long has Trinity been open here in Burleson?
We opened in March of 2012.
2012. So you're no stranger to the Burleson area, but
No, sir.
but not being from here, you chose Burleson. Why?
We were. The truth of the matter is, I'm originally from Louisiana. My wife is from West Texas. And she wasn't going to Louisiana, and I wasn't going to West Texas.
Oh.
And we were already at school in Dallas, so we were looking at surrounding communities. And I was looking at a few places, Mansfield, Burleson, so on and so forth. And we visited a few, and I looked at population and some demographics, and I felt like Burleson was a good place to post up.
And I assume you feel like you made the right choice?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, Burleson has exploded.
Right.
I was actually one of 2 tenants in my building on Southwest Allsbury, right there by Papa Murphy's Pizza. And, they have
The Bahama Bucks.
Bahama
Right.
Bucks. There used to be Poncho's Mexican restaurant. And it was like the Mexican buffet. And that was the only thing in there.
Well, they used to have the Ponchos also where the El Phoenix is now.
Yeah.
And boy, I tell you, when Ponchos opened up, you'd have thought a moonshot had landed, because everybody had to go there and see it and whatever else. And I guess for whatever reason, they moved on and El Phoenix has taken over, in which I prefer El Phoenix, frankly. But
Sure.
I've been here since 1991 in terms of living here, and I taught here 3 years before I moved to Burleson. And I could tell you, things are different. We talk about this a lot when the mayor's on, which, by the way, will be on next Tuesday, or sometimes when some of the city council people are on, or some other people have been around a long time. We all just marvel just how much different Burleson is now.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm super glad that Burleson has that mentality. There's a lot of communities that necessarily want to stay small, and in my mind, in my opinion, that's not progression. That's not growth. And I love progression and I love growth, and I think Burleson's got that. So,
well, it's interesting you bring up the mindset, because when I moved here, that was the mindset, that we want to keep this a small country town, and just about everything you wanted to do outside of going to church or the dry cleaners had to be done in Fort Worth.
Sure.
There was only one restaurant that had a wait staff. The rest are all fast food or pizza.
Sure.
And so if you wanted to go and have a fancy meal of any kind, then you're going to need to have you have to go to Fort Worth. But what happened also, a lot of people who live here still don't realize this. Chili's on the border, Spring Creek Barbecue, all that. That's actually Fort Worth.
Oh yeah.
All right. And so they started building there, and people are lined up out the door trying to, get into those restaurants. And so Burleson said, hey, we want a piece of that action. And so across the highway, when they created Gateway Station, that's when you got Olive Garden and Roadhouse and Applebee's and all those. Plus, 2009, they changed the alcohol laws to allow for open bars at the restaurants and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. Prior to that, you had to have membership, and there's only like 3 places you can get a drink with your meal, and there's a membership thing. And they didn't sell beer and wine at the grocery stores in the Johnson County part of Burleson. Now, in the Tarrant County part of Burleson, they did. And so they changed their liquor laws here in town about 2009. And that's when we started getting Fresco's and Mambo's and H-E-B and you fill in the blank.
Sure.
All those restaurants that you've probably gone to several times.
Oh yeah. Do you can you buy? I don't drink, so can you buy liquor in Burleson?
At the restaurants, buy the drink.
Okay.
Now, is like going to buy a bottle of alcohol.
Yeah.
The closest place here is down in Alvarado.
Yeah.
I have been told that the city is entertaining emotion, which is not anywhere close to enacting it. So don't go too far, guys. But I mean, it's been brought to their attention that they might want to change that particular law to allow for a liquor store to be built in Burleson, like a Total Wine or something like that. Not just because of the convenience, but also because restaurants that serve alcohol can only buy alcohol from within the county. Like my friend Chris over at Wild Cigar, to stock his bar, he has 2 places to go to. One's in Rio Vista, which is way out nowhere, right?
Sure.
And the other one is Alvarado, Liquor Depot. And so he doesn't have choices amongst suppliers. Now,
that's called a monopoly, right?
It is. Yes. But it's not quite so clear cut. You think, well, we just need to open one here, right? Well, that also means for every, I guess, well lit and clean place like Total Wine, you'd also have to. What about Billy Bob's Cut Rate? And
Sure.
It's 1,001 feet from a school, just that kind of stuff. It'd be a zoning headache. They tell me, so it isn't quite so clear cut.
Sure.
But I personally, I think we need to consider it.
Sure.
For the sake of keep our restaurants competitive.
Sure.
Because you think Chili's and on the border, they could buy their alcohol from a whole bunch of Tarrant County people.
Sure.
Whereas Mambo's, my friend Chris at Wild Fresco's, they got a very limited choice on what they could. And if that guy doesn't carry it down in Alvarado, you're not getting it.
Sure.
Now,
and I'm about to go to lunch at Mojo's. I don't know if you've ever been to Mojo's.
Oh, yeah, it's been around forever.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
We're gonna go there, and I know that I think they serve margaritas or whatnot.
Yeah. And the sky didn't fall. It went back in 2009 when they changed it. I think it really accelerated some growth.
Sure.
Because now you had chains and big time outfits that were looking at us as a potential spot. I know H-E-B basically said, if we can't sell beer and wine, we're not coming. And when we changed it, they opened up, and now you don't know where you shop for groceries, but H-E-B, is always packed. You can,
My wife is an H-E-B cult follower.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
And so that never would have happened, and neither would have several other places like that. Particularly on the west side of town.
Sure.
And so
Absolutely.
it's changed a lot. But as back to your business, I suppose, as Burleson's grown, I'm sure your business has grown.
Oh yeah, we've grown.
How many people work on your staff?
I have 4 assistants and 3 doctors total, including myself. So there's a total of 7 of us. Yep.
And these other 2 doctors also come from Parker, I guess.
One came from Parker, and one actually came from Davenport, Iowa. That was where the first school was founded.
Really?
It was called Palmer Chiropractic College.
Yeah.
In Davenport, Iowa.
It's the home base. It's like
the Fountainhead.
Dyess, the mothership or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but as far as your back to your code drive, because that was ostensibly the reason we started this conversation.
I'm having a blast.
You like it? Okay. Well,
yeah.
How is this going to work? just make sure that everybody understands
Oh,
it.
sure.
All right,
Absolutely.
all right.
So you come into the office, you bring a gently used coat or a new coat. Or if you're like me, sometimes a new coat that you have in your closet you never used. And what that's going to do is that's going to cover your initial consultation and exam.
If I bring 4 coats, I get 4 examinations.
You don't need 4.
Okay.
But if you bring 4 coats and 3 other people with you.
Okay, there you go. I'm making sure now.
Yeah,
This isn't like, oh, I got this whole closet full of coats. That should cover me for a whole year's worth of treatment. No, it's one per customer, guys.
Yeah, 1 per customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
So you have to be clear with some of these people.
Oh, yeah, I understand. So that'll cover the initial exam and x-rays. Once we find out that it's safe to adjust you and you are a candidate for chiropractic care, then you will receive your first adjustment on that appointment at that day. And at that time, we schedule a follow-up because it's quite time-consuming to go over x-rays. We schedule a follow-up appointment, and we go over all the x-rays and let you know what the game plan is to get this thing fixed long-term.
So is this, covered by insurance, I guess is the way I want to put it. Is it insurance can handle some of this, right?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Insurance does cover chiropractic care, depending on what insurance you have, obviously.
Well, we have Blue Cross, my wife and I.
Yeah, we're in network.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good thing because I tell you what, whoever deals with insurance in your office, I feel sorry for.
Yeah.
Because it's a hassle. And my wife, everybody knows her as this sweet, kind, southern-voiced woman. Until you get her on the phone with the insurance company, and then Darth Robin shows up, and then I pity the fool on the other side of that phone.
Yeah.
Because it's not that she's screaming and hollering at him. She's just like, this is how it's going to be. This is so.
Insurance, I don't know. I probably shouldn't say that. But
what
a gambit.
Well, that's why I endorse Melissa Harmon at Texas Farm Bureau. I had to throw that in there.
Sure.
But as far as a visit, you're talking about an adjustment, for those who are trying to visualize what that means, what does that mean? What does it look like?
So in our office, we practice a technique called torque release technique. So we use a neurological protocol to evaluate the spine for bones that are out of proper alignment. And we do this by using the Achilles neurological reflex. We look at your leg links and how your body responds to different pressure tests. Okay. And then once we found that the uneven leg evens, we know that this is an area that needs to be put back in proper alignment.
Are most people's legs, are they not even?
No.
Okay.
People's legs are not even, and they're not supposed to be even.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we walk on a round earth. If the earth was flat, it'd be a different story, but everyone's born with a leg that's a little bit shorter than the other. But when we put in the proper force and we muscle test an area that could possibly be subluxated or out of alignment, it does even the legs out. And it says, this is the direction that you need to move this bone. So then we go and we feel the bone and we put the bone back in place and we start over the protocol and look for other areas that are out of alignment. So long story short is we use your neurology to find out where your body's telling us it needs to be adjusted. And then we put the bone back in place. And that's what everyone loves. That's the glow stick videos where everyone's hearing them popping, their back popping,
right.
all that.
Now, will one adjustment basically solve the problem indefinitely, or is this something like if you have this problem, we'll solve it today, but you're going to have regular treatment on it? I mean, is it?
Well, there is a start and stop end to the care that we prescribe, but it's like if you're out of shape, is going to the gym one time going to get you in shape?
Well, it would be at CrossFit Burleson at 317 Southwest Wilshire.
Yeah.
See how this works.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
But or also HotWorks for if you want a different type of workout.
Yeah. I love it.
And the vast listening audience, their eyes are rolling. But that's just part of the fun. But anyway, it's like, so let's say I have a back issue a little bit, not critical or clinical, but just out of alignment. And I come in, you pop my back, whatever you do the voodoo you do. It's not like, oh, Well, I'll see you in the next life, doctor. I mean, it'll be it's
That's a lot like a workout routine.
yeah. So you have to schedule like fairly routine visits.
Well, let me know if this answers your question.
All right.
Usually, it takes anywhere from 30 to 90 days
Mm-hmm.
to get a issue solved, and typically you need to come in anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week.
Really that often?
Oh, that often in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be anywhere from a month to 3 months of regular care.
Mm-hmm.
And then we always retest. So we always re-x-ray or we re-scan people to make sure that we're making improvement, and we can see that on x-rays.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, if you want to set up some type of wellness care where you come and get adjusted once a week, twice a month, once a month, we do that because your bones can shift out of alignment due to stress fairly often.
Well, on this deal, let's say you find out I have an issue that needs some attention more than just one visit.
Sure.
And so these follow-up visits, can you have like a regular scheduled time at your office, like 8 o'clock every Tuesday and Thursday or something like that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. And then how long would a visit take once you're on a regimen of some sort? How long does a visit take?
So let's back up just a little bit.
All right.
After that first adjustment, when we schedule you to come back in and go over everything, we go over the plan with you. We go over your insurance, what any out-of-pocket expenses could be. And then when you come into the office, you literally check in on a kiosk. You let us know how you're feeling, any changes that have made, and then lay down on an adjusting table and we perform an adjustment.
Do those assistants do a lot of that after a while?
Oh, no. Only doctors adjust.
Okay.
So I have me and 2 other doctors, and we perform those adjustments. And those adjustments can be anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes long, depending on how bad the situation is.
So we're not talking about an all-day thing for these visits.
That's one of the things that people love about our office. You can get in and out of the office in 10 or 15 minutes because our job as chiropractors are only to find where the bone's out of place and put it back in place. So there's no pressure on the nerves so your body can heal. It's the time and repetition of that gets the results. Because over time, we put these bones back in proper alignment, and then they start holding and staying in their proper place. And they give that nerve time to heal and the body time to send the signal through the nerve to wherever, the neck, the shoulders, the low back. And that body starts to heal over time, and it starts holding that correction.
Well, this is all interesting because, we've been talking about my wife, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people, hopefully either hear this now or later, that either could use this kind of service or know somebody that does. And some of the, I don't want to say the misconceptions, but when they think of a doctor's office, they think of sitting in the office for 45 minutes. All right, now go back to this back room and sit another 45 minutes there waiting. Now, when I go see my general practitioner, I have to see him every 6 months. It's like, I better bring a sandwich and a book because I'm going to be there a while.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an all morning event. And so you're telling me that no, you could probably fit it in your lunch schedule. Something like that.
I never understood that. I mean, who has time to go and much less with a chiropractor? If we're going to ask you to come in twice a week for a month, you're talking about 8 visits. Who's got 8 hours in a month that they can spend at a chiropractor's office? I mean, I don't.
I don't. Neither do I.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I wonder if chiropractic can solve my diabetes. You think so? No.
That's another conversation.
I'm type 2, and
are you?
Yeah, and so.
So if we want to talk about that, I wouldn't say that chiropractic could solve your diabetes. It can help your pancreas function better, but that's a whole other story that would include words like keto or carnivore or low glycemic index. So I know a lot about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I am definitely a carnivore, no question.
Yeah.
And they say, well, you have to quit eating meat. And I'll say, I'm sorry, I'll just live with the diabetes.
Whoever told you that?
No one's told me that.
Okay,
no one's
all
told me
right.
that. No.
Do you want to talk some more about that? I'd love to.
Okay. We still have some. How much time we got here? We got plenty of time. So
cool. So about 2 years ago, when COVID hit, I decided I was going to do a program called 75 Hard. And it's a program where you work out twice a day for 45 minutes, drink a gallon of water, follow a diet, read 10 pages of a self-help book, and no alcohol or cheat meals. And if you miss one of those tasks, you start over from the beginning. I'm actually on day 5 right now of 75 hard. Let me check here real quick.
It's very hard what you just described.
Yeah. And my wife's doing it with me. So shout out to my wife, Sarah. And she's doing really well. But what I decided to do is I decided to find a diet that really was doable long term, because a lot of people get on these keto diets or vegan diets and you can't eat anything anywhere. So what I decided to do was a paleo diet. And paleo consists of meat, fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, essentially. No grains, no dairy, no sugar. And what happened though, so you said it might sound hard, but what happened though is I lost over 40 pounds in 75 days. I've lost over 100 pounds since I've been my heaviest weight. And the key to solving the heart disease, diabetes problem is sugar. Sugar fluctuates your insulin so much that's why people have to take insulin when they eat. So they go to eat a meal, it's heavy in carbohydrates or sugar. You have to inject that insulin into your body so your body can process that sugar and use it normally.
Well, and that's kind of what I have to do. And there's certain things I've had to take off my diet. And a lot of it wasn't much, like I'd say, a sacrifice. I mean, I do miss Dairy Twin's old milkshakes. There's another place you probably don't remember because old timers remember Dairy Twin. But
are you calling me young?
Yeah, well, younger than I am.
That's awesome.
But the couple things that it was hard and has been hard to give up for me personally. I really like bean burritos, from either Taco Bell or Taco Bueno or Fast Taco, any of them. You name the joint. And I pretty much have to give that up because it blows my numbers up.
Sure.
If I have something like potato based, I got to make sure I'm properly doctored up. Same with pizza.
Sure.
And that kind of thing. And I just said, a lot of people that have better willpower than I could give up pizza maybe, or French fries, or rice, or whatever.
Sure.
But that's I don't know. That's hard, to give those kind of foods up, particularly, if you want to eat anything other than natural, organic, homegrown stuff. I mean, you go out to any restaurant, it's going to be very difficult.
I like to play a little game with you. Name a restaurant for me.
Well, our place.
Our place.
Yeah, a great place to go, by the way, on a highway in Allsbury.
Shout out to Otto. So if I go to our place, here's what I get.
Okay.
I don't have diabetes, but I typically get 2 eggs over easy, hash browns, bacon and sausage, or bacon or sausage, and avocado.
Well, I didn't have the avocado, but I had exactly that breakfast today. Except I have them scrambled, but eggs, sausage, hash browns, coffee.
So now all you got to do is cut out the hash browns. Eat the eggs, eat the bacon, eat the avocado. And when you drink your coffee, no creamer, no sugar.
Yeah. Well, I was 75% good today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So.
How do you drink your coffee, Mr. Allard?
What's that now?
How do you drink your coffee?
I put some creamer in it. Just straight up black coffee. Well, no thanks. But no, I'll put some creamer in it. And I will have the hash browns, or what they call home fries, which are potato wedges and peppers.
I'd be really interested to see what happened if you cut out carbohydrates for 30 days.
I'd be a miserable wreck.
I'd like to see what happens with your insulin consumption.
We probably would go down, but I'd still be a miserable wreck. So I don't know. That'd be tough. But I don't eat a lot of carbs, but you can only eat so much chicken and broccoli.
You can eat plenty of barbecue though, can't you?
The sauce is high.
But good barbecue doesn't need sauce.
Well, yeah, but a lot of times it's not so much you pour sauce all over it, but the way it's cooked, the way it's seasoned and whatever. But it doesn't trigger nearly as high as others.
Yeah.
Meat doesn't trigger it for me anyway.
There's no carbs in meat.
Right. As far as most vegetables, green vegetables, yellow vegetables, they don't do it.
How does your body respond when you eat fruit?
Depends on the fruit, but like oranges, bumps it up.
Oh yeah.
All right. Apples a little bit. Bananas, you actually bump it up.
Yeah. So berries and green apples are the lowest glycemic index.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
And sometimes my wife will buy raspberries
Sure.
and blueberries, and blackberries, and she'll put some sugar-free whipped cream on it. We'll make a little fruit salad out of it.
There you go.
But you know, we do these things. But
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. I lack the discipline. You know,
That's funny you bring that up. That's actually my word for the year.
discipline.
Discipline. I actually have a band on my wrist right now that says discipline.
Oh yeah.
Because with discipline is the core of all success in your life. Whether it's related to your diabetes or your success in business or your success with your family, it's all about discipline.
Well, I've learned that over the years.
I'm sure.
And one of the things that helped me when I was growing up is I didn't grow up in I grew up in a military home. It wasn't like I was an Army brat, but I grew up my father served in the Army, and those lessons he learned, he applied to the home.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, up and at 'em, get your schoolwork done, get the yard done, get things done, show up on time. If not, if you're on time, you're late kind of attitude.
Absolutely. 15 minutes early is on time.
And that's on time. And it just, you know, I don't want to even imply that it was a harsh upbringing, but it was one in which there were expectations.
Yep.
Get up, do your schoolwork. When you get old enough, you'll have a job if you want to have any money, and on and on and on. And so I was very fortunate because it applied that to my teaching career, I think, because I was there. I was prepared as best I could.
Sure.
You know, I would keep up to date with the latest readings. So all this stuff, you know.
Absolutely.
And it paid off.
For sure.
And, you know, and the thing about discipline, if, you know, some days are easier to maintain it than others, right?
Yeah, discipline's about doing things you don't want to do when you need to do them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how I raise my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I raise my kids the same way. You know, make up your bed, do your chores, pick up at the end of the day.
It'll pay off. It'll pay off.
I hope so.
Well, my two children, I mean, how they drove me crazy. I never worried about their school work or their grades or their work ethic now as adults. And it's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, they were typical high school teenagers, right? So there's some head knocking and all that. But as far as, but I never had to worry about, you know, them taking care of the important things, the business.
Sure.
You know, of school and business of college and now their careers and whatnot.
Sure.
So it helps. But
How many kids do you have?
two? One's 30, one's 27.
And what do they do?
My son is an engineer for Boeing in Oklahoma City, and my daughter works for a company called Nelnet, which, among other things, handles software for schools.
Awesome.
You know, for like how they pay their bills and whatnot. And she works from home here in the Fort Worth area.
That's great.
Yeah, and they're hanging in there. You know.
Yeah. Where'd they go to college?
My daughter went to Oklahoma Baptist, and my son started at Baylor, and then the money got to be an issue, and so we finished at UT Austin. Oh, no, Austin. I'm sorry, UT Arlington.
Sure.
Yeah, over at UTA.
Yep.
And then he got his graduate degree from A&M.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, actually, it's at UT Arlington, not Austin. I don't know why I said that. That's people that know me know I am not a big UT fan, but you know.
What did your kids want to be growing up? Did they have any idea of what they wanted to be?
Well, my son wanted to be an engineer of some sort.
Okay.
My daughter, she just wanted to be happy. I think she wanted to be a school teacher.
Really?
Was one of her ambitions, and she has an English degree. But to be frank, I said, you know, I'm not so sure. Even in a school district like Burleson, which is a good school district,
Sure.
you still got a lot of pressures, and it's a lot harder job than it used to be.
Sure.
And we've talked about that with several people. I mean, it just is harder, and I didn't know if she would want that, so she got on with this company, and she's glad she did.
Good.
Yeah. So
Yep.
it's you know, I there's no way I could go back to the classroom, a high school classroom.
Sure.
It's not because the kids are rotten or anything like that. They're kids, but there's so many of them, for one thing, in a class.
The ratio is way different now.
Yeah. Well, I had big classes then too, but the discipline is it's more loose, and not because the schools are part of the problem, but also the discipline's loose at home.
Oh, for sure.
And so you know, yes, both things are happening at the same time, which creates a situation in schools that could be pretty difficult to manage sometimes.
Yeah, since you brought that up, I think that the families and the people that practice discipline and have discipline and do these things are going to really excel over the next 10 to 20 years, just because there's so much lack of discipline in our society. There's so much,
well,
I don't know. It's just not like it used to be.
no, and back when we were being raised, it wasn't like we were getting beaten all the time, but there were consequences for us stepping out of line or not fulfilling our obligations or whatever else. And the obligations are now much more lenient. The repercussions, rather, well, they're both, but the repercussions of not doing your job
Absolutely.
isn't quite so apparent to younger people.
For sure.
But but I don't want to leave this on that kind of note. In a sense,
absolutely not.
because there are a lot of good things going on at the schools.
Oh,
And we have a lot of good people. You talked about Branson and Kerr, but there are some of my colleagues are still there at the whole system. And there's a lot of good things going on. I have once a month, I have BISD on this show.
Yeah. And just for the record, I wasn't talking about the schools.
no.
I was talking about society in general.
Well, see, that problem I have about talking about schools is they automatically think that maybe I'm talking about BISD when really I'm just talking more globally.
Yeah,
about,
absolutely.
Because certain things that are problems for the state aren't problems for us. And there are certain issues that are specific to us that really aren't global. So you have to be really specific about what you're talking about. But like I mentioned, I have BISD on once a month, like the third Thursday of every month.
Awesome.
And I've had 3 of them so far, and they're just really good guests. And when I'm a school teacher, I'm thinking about my classroom and my lesson plan for the day. But now that I'm retired and I can back off a few steps, I can see the global picture of BISD. And there's a lot of good things going on.
It's one of the main reasons we moved to Burleson.
I hear that from Shandy Stock Still Group, by the way. And I hear that the real estate, we talk about that all the time when she comes on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
That
My wife wouldn't let me move out of Burleson, even if I wanted to buy some land somewhere else or build a house. She wouldn't let me move out of Burleson until our kids were out of Burleson schools for that exact reason.
She says the 2 basic reasons that people move to Burleson are schools and the police. They have confidence in the police force.
Oh, really?
We have, of course, we have crime like any community, but they have confidence that the police will deal with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've lived in my neighborhood for 4 years, and I've probably seen a police officer in my neighborhood twice in 4 years. So it's been great.
And I've had Billy Cordell, the chief of police, on the show. I probably need to have him on again. It's been about 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
And I come away very impressed with the professionalism that he brings and the police force has.
Absolutely. That's another great candidate for chiropractic care.
I bet.
Our police, their belts, they're so heavy.
Yeah.
Those belts, 10, 15, 20 pounds. So we take care of police officers. And if any of you guys need us, bring a coat.
Yeah, okay. I guess we should end on that note, but with the coat drive. So this will go on to the 14th, right?
Yes, sir. The 14th of February.
Also known as Valentine's Day. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so we'll run this on the ad rotation until then. I'll just throw it in the back. We do that for the nonprofits, and I'm proud to do it. I'm very honored to do it, in fact. So we'll just, after we do the usual routine, we'll throw this on there. And, I'd like to think it helps. I think it helped the Toys for Tots drive we had in last November. So maybe you'll have the same level of success.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. I always let the guests have the last word, so you have remaining time to tell us whatever you want us to know. Uh-oh, caught you off guard, huh?
Yeah, you did.
Well, tell us about Trinity and the coat drive and,
well, I mean,
your favorite ice cream.
Yeah. I just think it's, if I had to leave you guys with anything, it's really important to take care of yourself and take care of your health because it's all we got. And if you take care of yourself, take care of your health, you're able to take care of other people and give back to society and the community. So work on taking care of yourself. I mean, I'm not talking about new year, new me. I'm not talking about resolutions. I'm talking about really honoring yourself and, treating yourself as your body as a temple, taking care of it so you can help other people. I think that's what I want to leave with.
There you go. I appreciate you coming, Dr. Dyess. So I'm quite sure this will be very successful. And I really appreciate your provide that kind of service to the community, not just the coach, but the free inspections there, so to speak, and the free appointments and adjustments. There's going to be a lot of people, I hope, to take advantage of that.
Awesome. Thank you.
We need more well-adjusted people in this town, believe me.
For sure. For sure.
Taylor, thank you, bud. I'll see you next time in the studio. So y'all take care, and I'll see you Monday with Chris Notaboom.